Alrighty, daily trading recap for the Wednesday, the 24th of November, 2021, day before Thanksgiving here. For this year, pretty nice and fun day. Market-wise, all around, we got some nice low floaters squeezing, producing some craziness and fun, entertaining action to watch. And great day overall for me to just kind of the first day that I started this little experimentation and just play around with the paper trading side and going hard into being free and loose and willing to get in and out, willing to just take trades that I would not take normally in these past few weeks that I've been trading or following along whatever guidelines I've been holding myself to, but just being, I even came into this market day to say like, today I'm just going to be so free and it's going to be fun, not just like going absolutely bonkers, just doing random things, but being so free and loose to say, with the paper money, of course, that, okay, well, I think there's going to be a trade opportunity here. Let's get it. Let's go into this one. Okay, I see this opportunity in this chart here. Let's try it there. Okay, it's not working well. Or I even want to keep my focus more on this one. Okay, I'll just cut it for that paper trade, focus on this one. That's one example. I could just go on and on, but it felt so free and so invigorated today for how I was trading, and kind of very successful. I think I did end up a little bit profitable on the paper side, trading around $1,000 position size per trade. So not going like bonkers, like $100,000 position size on each trade, but just kind of maintaining some amount of reasonable mindset at least. So even though I see those numbers, they are kind of in the same type-ish range that I want to be doing as of right now for those little trades. So got some nice ones off on LGVN. That was probably the most awesome, crazy one today too. We'll get into that chart. QLGN, OCUP, a little bit on APVO, and freaking BIOL I'll mention as well, the same thing. But Judas Priest, very awesome day, great day for to go into the holiday weekend here with, just to continue to ignite that passion, explore who I am as a trader, and just continue to expand myself and my repertoire of what I am and actually become a freaking profitable trader. That's the main goal. Housekeeping first, let's go on to SPY, 0.27% day in the green today. Very nicely coming back. Could tap that 470 level maybe. Come to the upside of that on Friday. We will see what happens there. If this trend wants to continue to just stretch out as it is right now, if we're in this little stalemate, or if we are kind of topping out for a little bit of a reversal or trend decline here. A little pullback, we will see. Market internals for dollar volume. NASDAQ, we are 18 minutes after the close here, $215 billion volume. That is fairly low to see. And I see $240 billion volume. OTC markets, $2.4 billion volume. Not that crazy. A very low dollar volume. I'm surprised by that. BFRI, I will get into first. Mentioning first, other introductions that I went into with the paper trading for me today today I just felt that I was so out of that mud and the sticks that I normally drown myself in I can really only put my hopes on one trade a day with whatever, if I was trying to short or even if I was using my cash account with the small cash account that I had, it was just like, I can get maybe one, maybe two-ish trades off a day, but even at that too, that's kind of pushing it and I still want to reserve myself a little bit. So for some reason, I was always holding myself back from trading more or just putting all of my cards in on one trade. And I know subconsciously that was putting a lot of pressure on the individual trade itself. Like, oh, okay, well, this one has to work out, or trying to force maybe a little bit more out of it than was actually there, or recognizing, being able to get out early to say, hey, I just really don't think the trade has the legs here right now, and being willing to get out very easily. And because then I'm wasting a day trade, or I'm just kind of wasting the cash to be able to trade before that settles. And I told myself that I was, just letting the chart play out. I don't have the experience to understand what those really factors are, that, the trade's not working out as I'm in the trade. But this, I felt there's using the paper trades, being able to trade with it. I did one share trade on LGVN actual long, which is every part of it is, I'm all for it as of right now where I'm at, and just very excited for it. And I'm going to be able to evaluate them through TraderSync. The TradingView paper trading platform is able to put those shares into the TraderSync, so I can categorize each one of those trades and hold myself accountable to those. Hey, what pattern, what setup am I trading here? Okay, why did I do this one? What would I grade myself on the idea of this trade, the execution of that? So I don't have to lose that factor of it from the actual trading side of it. I can still apply that to the same light that I do these normal trades to those paper tradings, which I'm excited about as well. So BFRI, I'll get into. I had one little paper trade on it for me, of course, because it's the day before the holiday weekend, this Thanksgiving. It's this crazy high percentage mover, low floater. It's holding incredibly well. In the morning session here it was, I think I got how many shares I got paper trading wise, that was close to around $1,000, maybe around here, and was looking to play for this break to new high of day, and then it kind of rejected there. So I was out within that candle, I think, for that trade. But just another reminder, and LGVN even more so, of wholly choppy and kind of untradeable on these ones for most of the time. I know Ross from Mortar Trading, I got to see him pre-market, has a nice little profit opportunity, scalping this thing up all along the way into market open. But then again, just so many little fake outs and pullbacks, and go from break to under VWAP to just under high of day, and then back to new low of day within this little time span. Just kind of frustrating and head bogging. But I think another reminder on the BFRIs, on the LGVNs, on all of these, that, man, the trades are take the money when you can, not when you have to. The trade is that little scalp. That's the bulk of the trade. It's to try and intraday full-time swing these. It's such a hard sit, and the risk levels that you would have to be setting are kind of lunacy of what you think you would have to be holding, or where the risk rewards profiles even of, well, I think it's going to actually come back, and I think it's going to do this. And it's tough that way of where are you expecting to get profits, and what the probability is if it starts to break, like breaking down BFRI, for example. If you're holding this little consolidation just under VWAP for this move here, if it taps under a new low of day to below 5.2, if it taps just under that $5 mark, then reclaims, then produces this new high, can you look back at this one and say, okay, that was stupid, I needed to widen my risk up? Or is that like, well, man, what is your risk reward on that? It's the same thing. I could totally have seen this one doing that, of looking to stop out any of those people who the obvious technical level sets of 5.2 of that $5 whole dollar mark. If I'm longing this thing, of like easy little money to just go grab if I'm a market maker, and then just come back to where I was trading around VWAP, and then scale this thing up to smack the shorts on the other side. That's what the market is, and it's continuing to evolve that way more and more. And just tough to, but we have to learn from it and adapt to be able to say those easy, nice little sits to the long side, playing a full green day trend trade is really just not happening anymore. The charts that we used to see, or that I referenced, that I see in other videos of 2014, 2015, of the nice pure moves in the dailies, are just even more beautiful. Like, those days are gone. It's just a totally different market environment, sentiment that these things are trading in for right now, for how many retail traders are in these things. Let's get into the next chart of LGVN. Man, awesome opportunity today. Insane daily. It was funny that I was watching the rest of this daily chart just does not look even any amount of significance whatsoever compared to when I was watching that first daily recap of mine on this day. How different those looks compared to where we're getting now on this daily. Lunacy. But looking for a pre-market plan on this one was, hey, let's continue for funsies. Let's continue the short confirmation down. We had that parabolic fake out where, looking for that first red day on this 22nd, it completely reversed then. And then you have yesterday, which was a little bit of a sell-off day, kind of more of a rest day, but kind of gapping up after that close. So, okay, maybe it's squeezed out those few shorts that were just lingering around. Look for any spikes to sell into as a short, and play that continuation break of this green-red line here for that confirmation downward. So I had a nice little short trade, and I'm surprised I even got filled. The paper trading aspect too, I think it's something I got to factor in as I go about this. Of it is very easy to just get filled, just push a market order on the paper trading platform, like, okay, I'm in the trade now, versus actually getting filled, and what I would be doing with limit orders and having shares to borrow and the timing of all that aspect. But I think more so it's just getting the reps in on understanding the actual trade. And I think that is another step down the road that we can easily get into that way. But great little battle here. I'm going to do my best to log the chart so the scale looks kind of as what it was showing during the actual trading of it. So we get sell-off. It's opening under VWAP to market open. We get the curl to VWAP right to that $20 whole dollar level, and an awesome little battle right there. And it was $20 and 20.01 within these 2 minutes here. That was on the bid and on the ask that I was seeing. And maybe it was just my little bit of a laggy platform or laggy scans, but I just was seeing those and watching the battle go off from there and ready to push the button on the sell if it was going to fail from there. And then I started to see the bids get chipped away a little bit. And it wasn't even a full confirmation that the bid was chewed away that I pushed the button, say, okay, I think we're slipping here. I think we could die off. That it immediately then printed fell to like 18.5, whatever we came down to here. I'm going, whoa, okay, awesome. And then, of course, like I just referenced before, I was already short through a paper trading platform, but had I or would I have been otherwise really trading this type of setup here, but ended up with already within seconds a beyond 10% little trade there, and it was not continuing to just die off. And the fact that we just immediately dropped that fast was like, okay, well, if I was in this situation, I'd probably just at least cover. So I took off that little short there for a nice little pull, and that was the low. That would have been the best. That was my best opportunity to cover, and that's when I did cover. Right around there, 18.5-ish, whatever I got. And we just immediately perked back to VWAP, breaks a new high of day from there into a halt, which at that point into this halt, then I reverse the position. The same thing of would I or could I have been able to get that same position size as it's in that halt printing mode of printing the same price, whatever this halted at 21.36. Would I have been able to get at the same thing? I don't know, but glad to sit through that or just go through that experience had I been able to. Whereas compared to the past, if I was trading the same mentality that I was from yesterday, applying that same thing today, I would have probably not even looked at LGVN. I would have maybe had it in the corner of my screen, just kind of keep an eye on it, but in no way, shape, or form would I have touched this thing or looked harder at the level 2 or paid really any attention or mind to the time and sales, which, kind of for other reasons of, I know I shouldn't be playing with fire when I'm already sucking at these other patterns. I should be putting my focus on those patterns. But whereas today, like, let's play with it. Let's just experience it. Let's go through the actions and the trenches with it. And I totally excited and glad that I did that today with this opportunity. And again, to take the money when you can, not when you have to, especially on that little short. That was that one candle short opportunity that I had for that point. And how many fake outs, how many halts this thing did, just playing with the emotions on both sides, especially in this afternoon session. Just heinous lunacy here, and after hours even pulling back a little bit more. But then I mentioned, I wrote in my journal of this trade of the VWAP reclaim. I got another long here at this point as it was holding in this little wedge that was a pullback off of this high of day. So I'm thinking, okay, that could be this little pullback fake out-ish, and we could see the higher hold just under high of day from there. So there was the anticipation of potential volume break to the upside of whatever this $27 whole dollar level was, and then the rip to new high of days from there. But that was a fake out on the long one. So I think in overall, that one put me, whatever I was trading on the other ones on OCUP, QLGN, put me negative, like whatever, small amount on the paper trading side. But then what the opportunity of this paper trading was, I applied the same thing of, had I made that my one trade, my one actual trade on the day, keeping the same mentality from what I've been trading before today, I would have just been totally done, woe is me, I wasn't, they got me again. It's just, stupid timing, and kind of just still had the chart up, but been not convinced whatsoever to have ever gotten back in. When now I have the realization that I got to understand that this market is made to fake you out, and I'm going to I know I can get faked out, but there's still plenty of upside left on these in order to take one, maybe two, maybe even three fake outs if I know the trend is still possible. If I see the signs actually there for the trade to continue to happen, why would you not pull the trigger? That's the kind of just dogma I fell into. I think that's the right word of that. I only get one chance. I only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. But that, whereas now this paper trading, I can get back into it. I see, okay, well, now we just reclaim back to the upside of VWAP. Here's your entry confirmation for the trade that I was looking for specifically. But it just happened a few minutes after that. And the same thing with the mover yesterday, KTTA, when I was getting long in pre, looking for the reversal off of that morning dump, the failed morning dumper in that pre-market. I was 2 minutes early. I got stopped out by 2 minutes. And the actual trend bottom happened 2 minutes after that, after it exited, stopped me out for the A+ trade that I was looking for. Of course, position size regardless, but man, that's especially in this market environment, like I mentioned, of just how it's continuing to evolve, of the choppy play with your emotions and toy you around. I've got to learn to be able to get back in after I get stopped out when the signs are still there, not just kind of revenge trading by any means. Yeah, very exciting that way, kind of expounding on the same idea over and over again. It just puts a smile on my face. This charts like these today, the newfound kind of opportunity and the ability to trade like this and just have fun with it and be free and loose. And I always reminisce back to like the kids in Brazil who are playing soccer with a bottle cap, like how much fun they're having versus these kids today that have every amount of wonder in America, every activity and toy and materialistic object they could ever want, and they're still unsatisfied and just loafing around. It's far-reaching from what the intent of this daily recap is, but that's the kind of criteria I hold myself to of, man, just have fun and be loose. And that's where the best amount of yourself comes out, is in the play aspect, is in the looseness and the freeness of this, and not just being so bogged down and tight and pushing buttons and what I think I'm seeing, but just letting the market speak for itself and going that way. That was LGN. Well, I'm going to try and rip through these nice and quick so we can get to that turkey feast tomorrow. QLGN, another setup that, normally I would just not even really pay attention to, is second day-ish play. After the first day was more after hours moving, that I had that fade off, which was Tuesday now, but then reclaim for the afternoon session, but then pull back after the close there. So the same thing of, okay, does this thing really have the strength to just continue to rip faces and go crazy, looking for any amount of short spike to short into in the morning. And beautiful little opportunity. These are the types of moves. I didn't nail this one very beautifully. I actually tried to catch it as it was already falling off around the 1.9 area, so very, very late entry. But these are the trades that I want to start nailing more and paying more attention to with the paper trading, is how to pick those tops, how to see and recognize, okay, we're getting pretty toppy here. We're already above VWAP. There's just really no strength coming in. Now it's going to break to the downside of VWAP. Here's your short entry here around that $2 mark, and easy little trade there. Fails to break to the upside of VWAP after this little bounce and continues to just dump and die from there. Beautiful little sell-off right in the morning session. Those are the types of trades that I want to start hammering more. And stepping outside of myself and just exposing myself to more charts like this to get on the short side, even on the long side of the different patterns that are there as well. But nice little opportunity there that kind of was a part of. I actually had like 10,000 shares by accident on the paper trading when I was trading this one. It was like I was up $600 when it was printed 1 cent below where I entered. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I kind of glanced at it, and then I looked at my position size, and it was 10,000 shares. I was like, oh, that's a little bit more than I was initially willing to do. So learning mistakes all the way through. But yeah, great. Overall, just the main focus, again, is the pattern recognition and going through finding the tops, covering at the bottoms, those big puzzle pieces to this game, and the little stuff will find its way there along. OCUP, same type of thing of could have been one of the short squeezers along with the party today, but just really not in the works for it. What is the float on this one? It's American Biotech 12 million floater. So I think there was just too much attention pulled away from this one on the LGVNs, maybe more on BFRI as well, that we got rejected at VWAP here nicely. Not the most awesome percentage move of a trade, but using that as a confirmation or as a risk level even to say, okay, playing it nicely, you can maybe barely scrape out a little 4-6 move here from 5.2 trading it around that range. That's the short trade I'm looking for. The same thing of understanding that these things are just meant to die over and over again, and still holding this thing short. It's a nice, looking at it on an intraday perspective of it's going to close lower than where it opened, and you're kind of going to be good either way. But I definitely want to get more into the realm of understand where the tops are, understand where the easy covers are, and not just play with fire, because it can very easily get burned the other way as well. And then BIOL, I just wanted to mention last here. What a resemblance to PTPI this was. PTPI from yesterday. Judas Priest. It's the exact same chart. It's BT or BIOL, of course, is sub-dollar, which is why I kind of stayed away from it, just to give myself more of that resemblance to what I would actually be doing as I'm unable to short through trade zero, the sub-dollars. But the perf from after hours kind of come back to VWAP, and then you get the opening of pre-market to today, gets a huge spike, and then just kind of downtrending, bleeding into market open today. Saw the same freaking thing today. The perk from the after hours from yesterday's trading day, opening a pre-market today, big spike, pull back under VWAP, rejects VWAP, just bleeding, dying death. I was waiting and hoping for to see any amount of pullback to VWAP, and this one actually the same thing of kind of breaking new relative lows just into market open, not the same exact thing as PTPI, but following along pretty similar guidelines. This one much higher of a float, 150 million floater compared to PTPI, which was 2 million floater. 2.7 million floater. But the same thing of just death. These are the charts that I love of your opportunity high a day is that first minute candle, and it's just a nice little easy sit for the first half hour, 15 minutes, if that, of market open. That is a beautiful little, not the most awesome percentage move on this one, but this style of trade of you're just sitting pretty and putting a cover order and letting it run into it at that point. So great trade on that one. That is all I had on the day. Again, just no real hard entries, hard exits to pull up here like I usually do with my one traders on the day. But I think I'm definitely stepping into the realm of just kind of turning a new page for establishing the trader that I want to be in, getting through the experiences of what these things feel like and understanding, okay, wow, I was definitely wrong on that one, or okay, maybe there's something to this pattern. And that's going to come a lot through data collection, I believe, and just even what I'm doing through the trades themselves, of doing the reps and getting my hands dirty with those, rather than just kind of holding myself to one trade a day and I make a video about it and I can kind of review it on the daily trading recap, and that's my trading experience. But if I want to get better at trading, got to do more trading. If I'm having a little red streak, I got to start trading absolutely more. So for me, where I'm at right now, certainly excited for every single day. We will what am I trying to say? We will rest and relax over this weekend, Thursday, and just reinvigorate the mind and come back hard-ish on Friday if there's any opportunities there. But then especially start going hard on the next week, Monday, going into the month of December, which will be very, very fun. I've gone crazy. I thank you guys for watching. We will catch you guys on the next one.